If you're a contractor, you know the hustle is real, right? But what if I told you that one of the absolute best tools for drumming up new business is probably sitting right there at your fingertips? Today, we're going to break down exactly how to turn your email into a powerful, predictable lead machine. So yeah, let's get started. I mean, this is the question at the heart of every single small business, isn't it? It doesn't matter if you're a plumber, an electrician, or an HVAC pro, a steady stream of customers is your lifeblood. The good news? There's a really direct path to finding them. And that's it, right there. Seriously, forget about complicated, super expensive ad campaigns for just a minute. Email is your direct line, your personal connection to people who've already raised their hand and said, hey, I'm interested in what you do. It's all about building that trust and making sure you're the first person they think to call. Okay, but you can't send a single email without having someone to send it to. So first things first, let's talk about the foundation of this whole thing, building your email list the right way. So, how do you get people to actually sign up? Well, you offer them something really valuable in return. In marketing, we call this a lead magnet. But don't think of it as a trick. Think of it as a fair trade, a simple handshake. You give them some genuinely useful information, and they give you permission to stay in touch. And look, this doesn't have to be complicated at all. You do not need to write a novel. A simple one-page pre-season HVAC checklist or a quick 10% off your first service voucher. Incredibly effective. You're offering a real solution to a potential problem, and that builds instant goodwill. And as you're building that list, you've got to remember these golden rules. Be upfront about what they're getting. Make the sign-up process totally painless. And please, this is a big one. Whatever you do, never buy an email list. A purchase list is just full of people who don't know you and didn't ask to hear from you. It's the absolute fastest way to get marked as spam and just tank your reputation. All right, so you've got some subscribers. That's fantastic. But the job is not even close to done. Now you have to win the battle of the inbox and get them to actually open your emails. Just look at the difference here. A subject line like plumbing services is, well, it's boring. It's all about you. But 5 signs your plumbing needs attention? Now that speaks directly to a customer's potential pain point. It makes them curious. Same thing with the AC special. One is just a generic ad. The other is a timely, relevant question that makes you think. You know, the key is just to think like your customer. Can you use their name? Can you create a little bit of urgency or curiosity? Whatever you do, always highlight the benefit for them. And remember, keep it short and sweet for all the people reading on their phones, and try to avoid yelling with all caps and a million exclamation points. Oh, and don't forget this little pro tip. You know that little snippet of text that shows up right after the subject line in your inbox? That's the preview text. Use it. Use it to continue the story you started in your subject line. If the subject is a question, maybe the preview text can hint at the answer inside. It's a game changer. Okay, so they're opening your emails. We're making progress. Now for the most important part, turning that interest into a genuine business lead. This is where we start really nurturing that relationship. Lead nurturing sounds a little corporate, I know, but it's not about hitting them with a hard sell right away. It's a process. It's about sending a sequence of helpful, valuable emails that prove you know your stuff and that you're the absolute right person for the job when the time comes. And the journey is actually pretty simple. You start by welcoming them and immediately giving them that value you promised. Then, maybe you send a few more emails with useful tips to build trust. After that, you could share a great customer testimonial. And only then, after you've built all that trust, do you make a clear, no-pressure offer. Now, if you want to make this even more powerful, you can't just be sending the exact same email to everybody on your list. And that's where this idea of segmentation comes in. This is where things get really smart. You can start grouping your contacts based on what they're actually interested in. I mean, did they download a plumbing checklist? Then they probably don't need an email about your HVAC maintenance plan. Are they a residential customer or a commercial client? They have totally different needs. Sending these targeted messages makes your content feel personal and relevant, not like junk mail. So finally, how in the world do you know if any of this is actually working? Well, you have to measure it. You can't improve what you don't track. So let's look at the key numbers you should be paying attention to. Each of these numbers tells you a different part of the story. If your open rate is high, awesome, your subject lines are working. If your click-through rate is high, people are actually engaging with your content. The conversion rate, that tells you if your offer is hitting the mark. And the unsubscribed rate, think of that as your honesty meter. If it's high, your content might not be as helpful as you think it is. Now, you're going to see numbers like this thrown around, something like a 20 to 25% open rate, and you might wonder how you stack up. And, while it's good to have a general idea of these benchmarks, it is not the most important number to focus on. Because here's what really, really matters. The only competition that counts is you. The real goal is just continuous improvement. If last month's email got a 22% open rate, can you get this month's to 23% just by testing out a new subject line? That is how you build real, sustainable growth. So let's end with this one simple question to get you started. Just forget about selling for a minute and think about all the expertise you have. What is the one simple tip, the one piece of valuable advice you could share in an email right now that would genuinely help your customers? Start right there. If you do that, you'll be well on your way.